Hey guys, welcome to Isaiah's Reviews, and every once in a while in life you run across those reasonably priced items that do exactly what they say they're supposed to do. And that is the case with the Soundcore Spirit X. IPX7, sweat resistant, water resistant rating, the ultimate athletic headset for listening to music. The bass sounds great. I have them on right now, so let's take a gander. Goes right behind the head, and if you need to tighten these guys up, you just pull this right here. Pull this to tighten, pull these to loose. That's all you got to do, and get that positioned however in the world you want to position. It has a mic built in to here, volume up and down. You can switch channels and answer your calls, like I said, with the microphone. But make sure you get your seal perfect. The sound may be teeny at first, and teeny means no bass, and you're like, this thing sucks. That's because you don't have the seal correctly. This will go down into your ear and seal it up, and the bass is actually there and really darn good. I was kind of surprised because I didn't have a seal on. I was like, oh no, at first. I got that seal, and instantly the bass just started thumping, and it sounds great. Like for the money, honestly, right off the bat, my first impression of it is there's nothing on the market that can touch it for the price, for the bass that you get, and the comfort level. This is so comfortable, it's insane. It doesn't even feel like anything's in your ear, and it just locks into place so well via this right here and this combination. And it's so lightweight too. And I love behind the head if I'm out there doing any yard work. And this does a great job too of sealing for noise cancellation. I was very pleased with the cancellation that I was getting. I was thumping my fingers and clapping and stuff, and you can't really hear anything. You can't hear the outside world. It seals so well for working out in privacy with some music. This thing's excellent, and I think aesthetically it looks really good. You do get a notification light there that I am connected to my phone currently. The center is your little action button there for answering calls and stuff, and muting, pausing things. Forward and back, volume up and down and things. Here's your charging port. It is a micro USB. Just a tap up and down for volume, and long press for changing the song. Battery life on these guys, they claim up to 12 hours. Always knock about an hour off of that, and that'll get you a realistic ballpark. I always do that. You get a cool carrying case, a clamshell case, has a pouch in here once you get your sizing correct, and you should get your sizing correct because here is the box that it comes in, like so. It's a nice small box. Inside the box you do get a little compartment, and it is full with extra accessories. You get like 4 of everything, and you even get a little clip that if you wanted to clip this to your shirt collar or something, you could clip this so it's not dangling. I would just leave it dangling behind my neck. It doesn't bother me. You get different ear tips. There's no way that you're not going to find the exact sizing that will work for you. And like I said, it's IPX7 rated. And I think the Jaybirds that I had before, that's what I used constantly. I used other wireless in-ear things that for like yard work, for exercise, all that kind of stuff in the past. Really for the money right now, after having this for about almost a week, I guess, is that these are worth every single penny. And honestly, if something happened to them, I would buy another pair. And it sounds so good mixed with that good new Bluetooth because it has 10mm dynamic drivers that are like pistons in your lobes that crank that bass. Boom, boom, boom. When you get that seal, that 10mm driver is really doing its work, and it kind of blew my mind. Sounds great. If you're worried about the sound, don't buy them and enjoy. If you like flat neutral, it kind of goes a step above that and gives you some bass, so it is on the bass side, but it's not too bassy. It just sounds dynamic, which is good because I like rock music. Makes rock music sound great. Throw in some rap, R&B, whatever else, and you still get that boom, you get that dynamic there. So I think they're positioned in a very good spot for sound to try and please all genres. Spirit X has gone a step beyond the IPX rating. They've done their own designing and tried to give you a submarine type sealing, which means that water will not get into your components, period. And we're going to do one of the most strenuous tests that I've ever done on any kind of listening device to prove that water will not get in, sweat will not get into these, and you can do whatever you want in them. And I'm really excited. It's a lot that's going to go into it. Not only am I testing the typical audio quality, the range, the 40 feet that you get, not only am I testing those things out, right, but I also have been requested by the manufacturer to do a SweatGuard immersion test, which I've already done. But this was the rules for the immersion test. I had to prepare 2 salt water mixtures, one at 35% salt, and that's 5 tablespoons of salt in 500 milliliters of water. And I did that for 6 hours, completely submerged in that bath, listening to music at about 70-80%. And what I did was I just pulled my tablet out, connected it to a power source, freshly charged headset there, submerged it in that water, that mix, and just let it sit for 6 hours, pulled it out, washed it off, recharged it, and then not only, that would typically be enough to prove that something's sweat proof or waterproof, but I did it again, this time in a 0.5% salt bath, which is 1 teaspoon of salt and 500 milliliters of water for 8 continuous hours. So that's a total of 14 hours in liquid, submerged in liquid, playing at about 70-80% volume over the course of like 2 days. Here's the Spirit X after 14 hours total of submersion in 2 various salt bath mixes to kind of simulate drenched sweat or really just lost in the ocean. All right, so after listening to them, after coming out of 14 hours of submersion, I think it's lost some of the high end, like the bass is still there, but some of the high ends dropped down to probably 70% or so. So I don't know if that'll come back, maybe over time. Maybe I'll let them sit and play for a while and test them again and see. I'll write down in the comments if the volume ever comes back. But that was listed as one of the possibilities of this test. But the point is it waterproof? Like, will anything get into the charging port, the housing, and all that? And I mean, it's still balanced on each side. I think just the speakers maybe that provides the high end got compromised in some sort of way, or just soaked. Maybe they need to dry out or something. I just pulled them out of the bath. But like I said, if the volume comes back, I'll check it again tomorrow or something like that, give it time to dry, and I'll leave that comment below. But overall, minus the testing, like, we know that it's water sealed like a tank, like a submarine. The sound of it initially was, like, to recap, was fantastic. The driver inside this makes it sound phenomenal for the price. This is all considering the price versus the competition's price, which is over $100 in some areas. I don't think you even need to go in that direction for the $40 that they're charging for these. That's a great price, and I highly recommend these. So make sure to explode on that subscribe button and ding that dong so that you get notified on the next crazy thing that I do to a product that the manufacturer wants me to do to test it. This was a very, very neat process. I found out a lot, and very impressed with the company. See ya.